We have aLive from Team Fnatic, IPL4 champion, the biggest winner in the month of April in terms of prize money due to a $40,000 bounty from IPL4. Andre, what would you do with $40,000?
I would probably invest it.
Okay, well, you were a financial consultant, so that's like
a buyer's
that's like
market,
asking a banker what he'd do with his money. He's like, I'll probably put it in the bank. Guys, in the bottom left corner, we have CatZ from Root Gaming, or Rut Gaming, if you ask Kiwi Kaki. The yellow Zerg here from Peru, and he's looking for a win in this series. Now, CatZ, we're talking about his game plan, you know, and how he had to reevaluate, but on Daybreak specifically, what kind of styles does CatZ like? I mean, have you seen his stream a lot? Of course, we know his Infestor style, but CatZ is always one of these players that you can't really expect him to do any specific build unless he told you before he actually did it. So.
CatZ is always a player that relies on skill-based things. He likes to be cute, he likes to be fancy, so whether it be Mutalisks, whether it be Infestors, he's not a player that says, let me get this huge mass. Exactly, Baneling magic tricks. Yeah. He's not a player that gets this huge mass of units and then starts just, you know, crumbling your defenses. He actually goes, okay, let me see on a way that I can meticulously put my scalpel in and just dismember every single part of your body. And, you know, it didn't work out last game, but hopefully it'll work out this game for CatZ, and my prediction.
Yep, CatZ is not bad in ZVT. He's taking games off some really notable players like the Muzzle, Maru Prime, is one of the top players in GSL. He's also beaten aLive in the past, like we said in the Onag Invitational, and even beaten other players like DDE. And I think CatZ, just, again, you can't underestimate him too much. But at the same time, same goes for aLive. A lot of times people in the past really didn't take aLive that seriously. They're like, oh, when you think top Terrans, you think MMA, MVP, you know, and all these other great Terrans. But aLive is still very good, and he's going to change it up completely this time, going for on the exterior, looks like the same build, but it's in fact a fast command center.
And if we look back at CatZ's view, he really has the same indications that he had last game.
Yeah.
He has to defend against the 2 racks, and he has to defend against the command center first. He sees the first Marine over here and an SCV. And I like what we're seeing. It actually looks like a potential fake 2 racks pressure.
But what is it actually? It's a 2 command center build after the barracks, so it's a change up of plans there. And aLive is just going to back off. CatZ knows it's not really serious, otherwise the bunker would have started.
Exactly.
And as a result, CatZ is just going to go back to mining, getting his double queens out very safely. Now aLive, he reads this very well. As this third command center is insanely fast. And normally we see them after a fast, you know, Hellion reactor, so you're able to get out control the map. But this quick of a third orbital command, we've been seeing it more popular amongst Koreans. What do you think of this kind of style, Andre?
It's very good, and it punishes styles that want macro. Unfortunately for aLive, he doesn't know that CatZ is not really a macro style Zerg. So there are a couple of things that CatZ can do to really punish this. Any roach Zergling pressure in this beginning stage actually puts a huge damper on this build, because you delay your tech out, you delay your massive units out for so long. There's really a gigantic timing where CatZ can do something to punish his opponent and say, whether it be, you know, denying mining time over here, killing a couple mules, he needs to look to do something about it. And these 8 Zerglings might actually do something. There are 4 Marines. I don't think.
Well, might is the key word there. Oh, aLive actually running his Marines forward.
That's
good. No actual concern there. Yeah, I was wondering if he was on move command initially. And you can see that aLive is doing good, denying vision. CatZ really has nothing other than his Overlord in the top right-hand side, ready to peek in, maybe just catch refinery timing. Nonetheless, we see the Reactor Hellions finally coming out here, a very big part of TVZ. Every single Terran does it in the books. Now, CatZ is not necessarily the biggest proponent of going for, again, the fast 3 hatchery. He likes to go for some kind of tech play, again, be more fancy with those units. But he's going for a Roach Warren at this point in the game, and a Baneling Nest.
This is a Roach Circling Baneling all-in. And look at how greedy aLive is. He's getting double upgrades.
Oh yeah,
2 NG bays have been made.
2 NG bays?
NG bays.
Alright.
And the Roaches are inbound. He's at a great Harvester count, so he can actually switch off of this. As you can see, the Harvester count is pretty similar, but mules obviously make up the difference. But 36 harvesters, that's a nice all-around area where you can produce a ton and actually have a little bit of excess minerals at the end of that to start to make your third or get a lair, whatever you want to do afterwards. But we're going to see probably a pretty big push soon as the roach count gets up here. Is he going to deny this scout or let aLive see it? And he doesn't do...
Yeah, I mean, the SCV sees it in plain sight, so... aLive is going to immediately start scrambling. He's getting a second bunker. Now, he's still quad gassing at this point. Still intent on getting up his tech eventually, but you can see aLive's been on one barracks, one factory this entire time, so he's going to need a lot more production if he wants to hold on to this. Either that or he's going to have the sickest Sim City and kiting with these Hellions, because that's the big thing, as long as he can avoid a huge amount of damage. But the problem is that the roaches also can tank a lot of damage as well. Yes. This is a great time for CatZ to strike if he can get it before Fnatic aLive is able to get a substantial defense.
The one thing he can't do, though, is he cannot let his Zerglings start tanking the damage in the beginning. And I love this. He's showing patience, but there they go in. He needs to remove those Hellions first before those Zerglings are able to do anything at all. Going up into the ramp, I think aLive will hold here.
Oh, wow.
Just absolutely beautiful control by aLive. And CatZ went way too far in there.
Look at
and
that.
As you can see, the Hellions were able to do so much damage against the Zergling and Roach power, even though Hellions are normally known as not being great responses to Roaches. He's still able to hold that very easily. Good job by aLive.
Yeah, look at that. aLive even dropping mules at the natural. Extremely confident in his ability to hold off. And the only thing on fire is, in fact, the neutral supply depot. And aLive did a fantastic job holding it. Now, he is moving out with Hellions and seeing more reinforcement Roaches. CatZ did not send a wave of drones. In fact, he has another wave of units still traversing the entire map. Where does CatZ go from here? He's expanding, like we were saying before. He had the option of expanding, but did he do enough damage? Looks like he's going to go in for another round.
I'm going to say no, he didn't. Income tab showing 46 to 41. The Harvesters are actually favoring Terran at this point, even though it says less than that. Mules are 13.5 for 3 orbital command centers, so that does give him more Harvesters.
Yeah, and CatZ is still just going to press in here, take out whatever buildings he can, which actually I like, you know. When you have those units, you can still just pressure slightly, but back at home, he's droning up very nicely, and looks like CatZ finally going to head on home. Let's take a quicker look at what just happened in the battle at the natural. You can see immediately that Fnatic aLive prioritizing keeping the Hellions alive and protecting the ramp. Very key, making sure that the units do not get up there. Should CatZ have bundled up there, or maybe should have just gone straight for the SCVs?
Yeah, I think he should have gone for the SCVs. That would have been better. Or at least backed up and then try to do something with Banelings. But don't just go in there with Zerglings, knowing your opponent has Hellions. That is not the best case scenario for him. But right now, we do have a couple of Marauders pushing out into the middle of the map. Factory just scouting around. Nothing of consequence actually happened since that.
Yeah, in fact, I didn't know I was controlling the camera. I was like, oh, I'm looking at the replay, and I'm like, so guys, of course, that was a live picture-in-picture instant replay, and give us feedback, of course, of how we can even do it better. But if you guys enjoyed it, I know I did. That was a fantastic execution of it. So we do see that CatZ isn't that actually behind in terms of economy. He's able to drone up pretty comfortably. The Hellions have been kept back at home and not really, you know, controlling the creep spread, not really denying any kind of mining time. And as a result, CatZ still able to get 3 base economy relatively unharassed. Now, we do see that aLive has transitioned back into huge amount of bio. Look how many barracks he's got, Andre.
Yeah, he's looking to exercise his advantage with his upgrades. 2-2 is just about a third of the way done, whereas we have CatZ that is just maybe 60% done with his 1-1. That's a huge problem for CatZ. So there will always be an upgrade advantage for aLive, and obviously he wants to invest in bio as much as possible so we can really start to power off of those upgrades.
We see that aLive is moving into the third, getting in position. The Banes are still in the middle of morphing, and aLive sees that, so he knows that defensively, especially with the creep spread from CatZ, he's going to be pretty set. Yeah, this is a very good job, and this isn't all a testament to the fact of the early queens from CatZ, showing pretty strong queen mechanics.
And it looks like these Roaches and Banelings are going to go over here. I'm not sure what they're doing just now, but the Hellions are moving into the natural. Infestors have actually been spawned out here. Oh, I'm sorry. I missed a drop. Or I missed a drop.
Well, back in the main, we see that the Festers do deal with that, and you can see aLive also pushing into the natural. Electrodes are clumping up, and the Hellions are softening them up for the execution. CatZ really needs to latch onto his Infestors that are spawning are also dropping upon the birth. And that is not good news for our Zerg player and CatZ going in for another fungal, but these Marauders absolutely chew them up. Back here at the natural, going for another counterattack. CatZ's Roach army was completely cleaned up as well, so CatZ tried to go for a counterattack option, did not work, and aLive still working on these drones back at the natural.
The lair went down, everything is going terrible for CatZ.
Yikes.
And I don't see a possible way for him to actually come back into this, because another round of Marines and Marauders coming in here with 4 total medevacs. The 4 medevacs will help out so much, especially with the low count of units out. Unit tab shows 1 Infestor, 3 Zerglings, now 3 Infestors and 3 Zerglings. He has as many Infestors as he does Zerglings. Doesn't help when you're under fire at the prison. There it is, GG well played.
GG well played, and aLive takes game number 2 and the series on Daybreak against CatZ, putting him at 3-2 and moving up in the division accordingly. And of course, guys, if you want to catch that series a little bit more in depth and see aLive's ability just to pick apart a Zerg from beginning to end, that was a very well played game by aLive. Do you have any thoughts before we go into the next series and wrap that up?
It was very, very well defended. That's all. I mean, I think CatZ kind of misplayed that, but it's hard to tell at that position. I think that was probably the best time for him to ever do anything to his opponent, because he made another Orbital Command Center, 2 engineering bays, 2 upgrades, and then got units. So he has a huge deficit of units. I think just understanding where his opponent is at, maybe sacrificing an Overlord a little bit earlier would have been a better decision, and he could make those great decisions at that time.
So fantastic job by aLive. Again, he moves up in the division, and CatZ will still be searching for a win later on this season. We want to thank Azo. We want to thank Azo, the people who provide monitors for NASL Season 3. Go check him out at azo.com.